I keep on affirming we're in a happy, loving, committed relationship. Relationships are easy for me. Everything works in my favor. Beautiful. I'm not able to be consistent on my self-concept. I get back to my low worth. Well, babe, you have to practice being her, right? That's what this whole game is. It's practicing being the new version of you, whether it's a new version that has more money, a new version that knows her worth and value, a new version that has a new body shape, a weighs a different thing, right? A new version that has different confidence about her, a new version that's living in a different neighborhood, a new version that is, working a different job. Like all these are our labels and identities that we have adopted and accepted as truth. And you're learning how to reprogram a new identity, a new label, which is concept of self in order until you know it's your new truth. And so when we first do it, it feels awkward. When we first do it, we don't believe it. When we first do it, we don't buy it. And we always go back to the old identity because that's what we know and we're familiar with, and we've been longer than we've been the new one. So that's why you have to keep practicing her until you become her, and you will become her. And even when you're her, there still will be moments you might fall back into a moment of low self-concept because we are triggered in life and we have 70,000 thoughts that run through our mind every day. And so you can still have a negative thought. You can still have a doubtful thought. That's okay. Your job is just not to dwell there, believe it, and accept it, and allow your mind to keep thinking that way. I want my SP to come see me, but he keeps on giving me excuses. Well, stop chasing him. Stop asking him. You have a version that's obviously not conformed. So why are you even dealing with that version? I wouldn't even ask that version anything, or because he's not going to come if he's not the right version. It's crazy, but I didn't believe it. But I just got a job and I wrote that last year about this one. I love it. Love it. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Masha is a cutie pie. Kim, I'm an OG fan. Thank you so much for all you do. You're my inspo. Oh, I want to leave MH field, mental health field, to become a coach too. Oh, good. Good for you. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. If it's what your heart is telling you to do, then go for it. Could you tell us about your routine or what techniques you do? Well, from the time I wake up in the morning, my brain is like programmed a lot because I've mastered my mind, because I'm doing everything I tell you guys to do in every single video that I ever put out. So when I wake up, my brain just naturally focuses on a favorable story. Like I don't have to make it do it. It just does it. And I'm constantly paying attention to my mind. Now in the morning, I do like to script and I like to do visualization for about maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And I do that every day pretty much. And then throughout the day, I'm just paying attention of my thoughts. Like I don't listen, certain music I stopped listening to a long time ago. Like if you guys, you want to know a good manifestation playlist is it Chris and Teebs? So it's the name Chris N and then Teebs. He has an album called Manifestation, and then there's a second album, Manifestation 2, and they're all manifesting songs. There's a whole bunch. You can find Spotify. You can look on Pandora. Is it Monifa or Motifa? I can't remember her name, but she sings a lot of affirmation songs. Like there's a lot of manifesting songs. So I listen to that shit because then when I listen to that music plays in my head too. My brain likes to sing it back to me, and it's all like good affirmations. That's what I do all day. I just affirm in my mind. I redirect my mind. I focus and put my attention on the reality and the version of me that I desire. That's all I do. I don't do 800 million techniques. I just sit there and pay attention to my thoughts and choose the thoughts that support my new self-concept in whatever area of my life, and then what I want to manifest. And if I feel myself get anxious, I take deep breaths and I remind myself, I got this. I'll ask myself what if questions, like what if I was on the other side of this? Who would I be? What if I already knew the solution? What if I already had what I wanted? Who would I be? And then I start shifting into her. So you have to train your mind to think differently. It isn't enough just to do techniques all the time. It depends. If you do a technique and you don't worry about it all day, and you don't have a negative story that makes you feel like and know that you're not going to get it, then you probably don't need to sit there and affirm for it. You did the technique, you trusted, and you know it's yours, and you don't worry about it. It'll manifest. But if you're someone that you do a technique on affirmation, or you think the new thoughts, but all day long, your brain is telling you the opposite of what it is that you desire, or you don't know it, or you don't think you can have this thing, and that's the dominant story, well, then that's what's going to manifest. So you have to master your mind. Everyone talks about living in the end. How do you get that state, that feeling? Well, I asked myself the questions that if I had what I wanted, who would I be? If I were already living the reality that I want, what would be the conversations I'd be having with people, like my best friend, SP, whoever, right? So then I would do those conversations in my mind as if that was my life, right? If I was like washing dishes and I had the reality I wanted, and your brain's like wanders off when you're doing mundane tasks like that, what would I be focusing on? Well, I probably would be pulling up memories of yesterday or last week. So that I would create those memories of me having what I want, celebrating hitting $1 million, celebrating the goals that I want, different things that I want. And that's what I would be focusing on. So it's just, I mean, there's so many different ways you can do it. You can just ask yourself, if I had what I wanted, who would I be right now? If I literally was the version of me in the reality where I had everything I desire, who would I be right now? What would I be thinking? What would I be doing? How would I be feeling? What would I be focusing on? And you start sussing this stuff out and noticing you'll start shifting because now you're focusing your mind to actually what you want. The 3Ds, your 3D reality doesn't dictate anything. It's just letting you, it's just how you're experiencing something in the 3D reality. It's how your senses are picking up information. It's the final, it's like the final manifestation when it shows up in the 3D. It has to be here first and then you get it out here. Remember, you have to be delusional with stuff sometimes. It feels delusional because there's no evidence right now in your 3D showing you're going to get what you want, but you don't let that control you. You don't let that dictate you. And so you don't care what the 3D says. You know that this is what's happening. You know it's inevitable. You know it's on its way. And you persist in the story that supports that, of you knowing that and you trusting in that. Hey, Kim, everything you coach is so true. It's hard to break through the old self, but so worth it. You help me up level myself so many times. Oh, good, Alicia. That makes me happy, babe. Yay. That's what it's about, right? It's so fucking worth it to get on the other side. None of us need to feel like shit. We don't have to, right? What do you do when you can't stop chasing them? You fucking stop chasing them. You can do anything you want. You have a mindset and a belief system about you that makes you feel like you have to chase someone. You don't have to chase anybody. Are you going to die if you don't chase someone? No. So what is the story that you have that says if you don't do this, then something bad's going to happen, and you got to conquer that story? You have to ask yourself, is that actually true? Does that happen to everyone on the face of the planet if they stop chasing someone? You're going to see the answer is no. And you have to also ask yourself, what are my insecurities about me in relation to them that I keep chasing them? You don't have to chase anything. You do not have to chase a fucking thing in your 3D reality. You don't chase money. You don't chase SPs. You don't chase the car. You don't chase the neighborhood. You don't chase anything. You just affirm, focus, and become the version of you that's matching that reality, that is that version and that reality that knows they get to have this. And then it manifests into you at some point, and then you can take action from that version of you that's already in the dominant state that you get to have this. But you have to reprogram your self-concept. So you have a story that says, I'm not good enough to get what I want because if I don't chase, they'll leave and never come back. So that means you don't feel good about you. And then you feel probably scared and insecure, because I've been there. We've all been there. And then so you've trained yourself that if I chase them, it makes me feel better. I get that instant relief when they answer. Even though I know it's not really good and it goes away, it makes me know they're still there. So then you got to look at, what can I do instead? You don't chase anything.